I welcome you all to the second segment of lecture 27. We've been discussing Myers versus Canada, ST Myers versus Canada. This is the very second case of 6th week that we are discussing. And in the last video, we looked at the factual circumstance of the case, about the interim order and the final order that were challenged as violation of certain provisions of NAFTA. So before going into the specific violations of ST Myers, like a specific violation that the ST Myers had claimed that were breached of NAFTA, that is something, there is a preliminary thing that the tribunal had to look at. One is the entire case rested upon the idea that Canada has favored its domestic industries. And if you see the list of violation also, the first thing that ST Myers had claimed was violation of national treatment. So firstly, the tribunal looked at whether Canada had an intent to favor its domestic industries. And for this, to decide the question with regard to intent, you have to look at the facts of the case. So there were many factual assertions made in this case, and that was something that the tribunal relied on also. What are these factual assertions? Firstly, there were three officials from Department of the Environment, Hilborn, Campbell and Dix. So there were notes of these departmental officials that were submitted before the tribunal, which stated that, what was it stated? That a technologically and environmentally sound option will be to open the US border. That is one. There was again evidence that was submitted with regard to the meeting of domestic industry senior officials with that of the Minister of Environment. Syntec and Chem security officials had met with the Minister of the Environment in 1995. Post this meeting, we could also see the Minister of the Environment making a statement in the House of Commons in June 1995. That is, the Minister of the Environment made a statement saying that PCB waste will be disposed of in Canada by Canadians. So this was a statement made before the House of Commons in June 1995. Right. So that was also one of the factual thing that was highlighted. Then we do see Director of the Hazardous Waste Branch making a note that it is again the favoring opening the border between US and Canada, and then saying that that will reduce the low transportation cost and the risk, because like I mentioned in the last video, Alberta was geographically far away from where you find the PCB waste. Mostly the PCB waste was concentrated in Quebec and Ontario, but Alberta is far away, but then US is closer, Ohio plant is closer, right? So transportation, from the perspective of transportation, this is what the director, an official from the department, the director of Hazardous Waste Branch had stated. But he also noted that there were several disadvantages of closing down the border. One was STMI could bring a case of NAFTA violation, and secondly, he also stated that what Canada could do is Canada could delay this process by looking into certain aspects. What are those aspects? He stated that Canada can delay by saying that it will look whether the facilities in US are capable enough to dispose of the PCB waste, and secondly, they can also delay by looking at whether the US concerns are in order. So he written something about that. So that was also submitted before the tribunal. And after looking at all of these things, there were one more official from the Department of Foreign Affairs who had written that this is done for political reasons, and the better alternative would be to open the border. So he had noted that it was done for the political reasons. Hilborn, one of the officials of Department of Environment, in one of his records, he had also noted that what he had noted was actually this is opening the border. He also favored opening the border, and that would be the most environmentally an environmentally sound option as well. So here we do see that ministry, somebody from the Department of Foreign Affairs also saying that this is done for political reason. Then we see Hilborn saying that that will be the most environmentally sound option. Then he goes ahead and makes a statement saying that Opening the border is something that will be in line with the obligations of Canada under the Transboundary Agreement, as well as it will also be in line with Canada's position under the Basel Convention as well. So this is something that has been stated by a Department of Environment official of Canada itself, saying that opening the border is something that is in line with Transboundary Agreement, that is in line with Basel Convention as well. So these were the documents that were submitted before the tribunal. These were the evidences, factual assertions that were made before the tribunal. Then the tribunal, after looking at all of these, in fact, in December 1995, Dana Myers had also written to the Canadian Department of Environment, Ministry of Environment, asking the minister actually, asking if there are any environmental things that they have to take, ST Myers had to undertake. But what we see here is no reply was received from the minister. So that also something that happened in 1995. December 1995. Now, holistically, the tribunal looked all of these and the tribunal concluded that the regulatory intent of Canada is to protect the domestic industries. Tribunal concluded that because the tribunal stated that if Canada's intention was to, look at the environmental aspect of PCB waste and all of that, then it would have arrived at the decision that it took on February 1997 much earlier. What's the decision that Canada took in February 1997? They reopened the border, right? So the tribunal's opinion was if environmental usage of this PCB, if environmental aspects of PCB waste was a concern of Canada, they would have taken this decision much earlier, which it anyway took in February 1997. And mostly looking at the factual assertions, the tribunal concluded that Canada had taken this regulatory measure only to protect the domestic interest of domestic PCB industries. Then there were other agreements also that were cited, Transboundary Agreement, Basel Convention. Anyway, since I have discussed the provision of this agreement in the last videos, I am not going to repeat it again. But after looking at Basel Convention, Transboundary Agreement, even we see that the tribunal looked at one more agreement, which was North American agreement on environmental cooperation, a side agreement on NAFTA, right? So this environmental cooperation agreement contained provision which stated that the contracting parties are free to choose any environmental protection level. And the agreement also stated that the contracting party should strive for a higher environmental protection level, right? So that is mentioned here. Then they also looked at Article 104 of NAFTA. Article 104 of NAFTA is a provision that lays down that an environmental agreement will prevail over the NAFTA provision to the extent of a conflict. And in that, you will also find Basel Convention and you will also find Transboundary Agreement. The problem here is US had not ratified the Basel Convention. It has only signed it, but it's only applicable from the perspective of Canada because Canada had signed and ratified the Basel Convention. Right, you can see the Annex 104 also has Transboundary Agreement. So then the tribunal looked at these environmental agreements and then it had to decide with regard to the Canada's regulatory measure. Then it stated that agreed that NAC and these agreements, if we look at them, Canada has a leeway to take any environmental level of any environmental protection that is there. But even NAC, the NAC in the sense, the North American Agreement on Environmental Cooperation, that agreement itself stated that environmental obligation and economic obligation should be mutually supportive. So that was also mentioned there. So ST Myers Tribunal stated that even though an environmental level, if the country can determine its own level of environmental protection, with regard to that particular measure, it has to be least restrictive measure and that has to be taken. That is what the tribunal concluded after looking at all these provisions. It stated that it can take any measure that has to be a least consistent measure with other provisions of NAFTA. Now with that, this concluded. Then after deciding on the regulatory intent and saying that Canada had taken the measure only to protect its domestic industries, and secondly, looking at the environmental agreements and the interplay of those agreements with NAFTA and all of that, concluded that The measure that ST Myers take to achieve a level of environmental protection should be a least restrictive measure. With this, with this decision, it went ahead to decide on the allegation that were levelled by ST Myers against Canada with regard to the violations of NAFTA provisions. So, in the next video onwards, we will look at those provisions and what were the arguments adduced and what was the decision of the tribunal. Thank you.